Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 147 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Middle Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
George Breden,
James Fitzgerald.
And in this episode, we're going through the Origins 2025 Games Preview. Enjoy the show. Well, how's it going, everyone?
It's going good.
Doing all right.
Episode 2, effectively, of being back, even though it's
we are back
147 episodes later after the hiatus. So anyway, we got a really cool show for you today. Origins is having its, I think it, what was it, 50th anniversary that's coming up soon?
Yes, 50th.
And in this 50th anniversary, they are going to have lots of games released. Obviously not as many as Gen Con or other conventions. However, there's still some good stuff in there. And this is the 2025 Origins games preview list that is on Board Game Geek. There's, I don't know, 120 games or so at this time, not like as many as normal. We're going to go through some of the games. We're not going to go through all of them. Obviously, we don't have any affiliation with Origins. So the stuff that we're talking about is purely our opinions. And, but before we get to that, let's just kind of quickly talk for maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that, about what we've been up to recently. George, you want to go?
Yeah, I started getting more game time in, so I'm going and gaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays at
That's good.
A game store. Yeah, it's fantastic that I'm finally able to do that. And I've been playing all these games, and I've played a couple games lately. The first one that I want to talk about is related to the last list we did, because it's a 2024 game that I hadn't played. Once I played it, it would have been I don't know, number one or two on my list. That's how good it was. I was really shocked. It is Bardwood Grove.
Bardwood Grove.
Bardwood Grove. Yeah, it was a Kickstarter, and it's a Final Frontier game, so they're gone, sadly.
Oh yeah, that is sad. There's a lot of game companies being hammered right now.
Yeah, they were the ones who also did Merchant's Cove, and the game is set in the same world.
Okay.
So
I liked Merchant's Cove.
Yeah, well, I liked it too, but I didn't so much like the art for whatever reason. I'm not a fan of the Miko, and it's the Miko art. And that doesn't get in the way for me on this one. The game is so thematic that I can overcome all of that. And there are these different bards that you play, and it's a deck building game. So you get your own deck of cards that match each instrument and bard's style, and then you're going around on a map and doing actions, and the actions are things to add cards into your deck. And when you draw your deck out each round, if it's a certain kind of card, it goes into your song. So you're building a song for a while, and you're developing your volume level. And then there's this tracker that turns every time you take a turn, and it moves a couple of spaces. And when it goes all the way around, then you trigger the song. Then you're ready to sing your song. So wherever you are, that's when that happens, that's where you're singing your song. And when you sing the song, everywhere that is on the corner of the space that you are on the board, you get to do those actions. So you have these very quick turns.
You're not actually singing songs out loud.
No, I mean, that's up to your play group, I suppose.
Yeah, that should be a requirement.
Yeah. So, but the turns are super fast for several, 3 or 4 turns, 2 or 3 turns in a row, where you're just, okay, I'm going to turn my dial and I'm going to move, and I'm going to turn my dial and I'm going to move, and I'm going to put this card here, and I'm going to put this card in my song. That's it. And then all of a sudden you have a turn where you're singing the song, and I'm doing all of these things that are on the edge of where I'm at, with all of the stuff that each card in my song lets me have. And so it's interesting pace to the game.
It looks interesting. I haven't heard of it, so this is new to me.
Yeah, Bardwood Grove. It's really, really very good, and it's sad that the company is gone now.
Anything else you want to add? What else you've been playing, or is that really it?
I'll add one more. More. Eternal Decks is a game that is a Japanese game where you are cooperatively trying to play out cards into these fields on the playing area in order to make it all the way across a row to reach these Eternals. And the Eternals each have decks under them. When you play a card, that's it. It's gone. So as you play, you're running out of cards, and you have to make it across to get this next small deck of cards to add. The last person who lays out a card that finishes a row gets to take those cards and add it to their deck. So you have to take turns and sort of watch who's running out of cards, who needs to be the one who releases this next Eternal. And each of these rows and each of these Eternals have different constraints. So you have to play ascending on this row, or you have to play no purple cards, or whatever it is. And then when you release the Eternals, they add curses to you that add additional things. So, okay, we can make it to this Eternal, but if we do, now we can't play 5s or 8s or something like that. And then you see on each of the Eternals what the cards are that were added, so you know what people have roughly. So if there's a bunch of 8s in their deck, and then you've just released this Eternal that says you can't play 2s or 8s, there's so many decisions. It's incredibly clever. I can't say enough about this game as a co-op. It's just one of my top co-ops right now. It's amazing.
Yeah,
definitely
interesting art.
Do what?
Oh, the art.
The art is very interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't particularly. What do you think that art style looks like? It almost looks Greek or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Some of it looks like the Day of the Dead type art.
Oh yes, that too.
Disney movie. I can't remember the name of it, but that type of art. That's what. But some of it's colored in, so it looks a little different.
Was it Coco or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of what it looks like. Yeah, it's great art. Fantastic game.
Well, cool. Anything else to share? Are we going to move on to James, or?
Yeah, let's move on. I've those are my highlights for sure. But now that I'm playing more games, I'll have more to say about other games as we go ahead.
That is the way to do it. All right, James, what you been up to?
After our last podcast, I decided to play Ezra and Nehemiah, which was on my shelf of wishful thinking.
Right.
And it was actually pretty good. I mean, it's Tim's number one. Spoiler, if you haven't listened to that one.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good. I don't know if it would have made my top 10 or not. I was still on I need to play it multiplayer before I give it a ranking or whatever. But it was actually pretty good. I like this. I like the style. I like.
Did you like that card mechanism where you're playing the cards and you have to like the viewable flags or how many?
Right.
It modifies the action.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I like that. And I like the going around the board. And fortunately, I'm going a little blank here. I apologize.
How was it solo? Did you play it solo or did you play it with somebody else?
I played it solo. It was confusing on scoring of the solo bot. And I ended up destroying the solo bot like 80 something to 30 something. And I was like, I've got to be scoring this incorrectly. Because it was more, if you ever played Scythe solo, that is a very confusing bot. This was almost as bad to me. How it scored or what it preferred to do, what it was wanting to take up. Because at first I thought we were very neck to neck. And then in game scoring, I dominated on it somehow. But I do like the temples and filling up that, trying to get so you can get resources and the tracks on the right. I was watching a video of solo and they were, I forget who it was, but they were very close together they beat the bot, but not as by 40 or something points I beat it. So I was like, I think I did something wrong, even though it was
maybe just the natural.
Good, no, but it was pretty good. It's not punishing like a lot of other bots, and it doesn't really get in your way. And the only thing I had to keep reminding myself is that one middle track where you're trying to get in, at least in between the two people or afterwards. Like
the bonfire or whatever you're trying to, like the ritual sacrifice. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, you didn't want to be on the left most of the time because it'd give you negative stuff. But I do like how it was, all that stuff is interchangeable. So the replayability is very good because the board is not going to be the same every time. It's
like it has a feed your people mechanic with that, but at the same time, it's not super hard to keep up with. And really, it's just bad. You have to keep up just a little bit to not be punished. But some of the cards, you're not really even punished. You're more rewarded.
And the top row, the wall is already built in on solo. So the top of the board. So you're not completing the wall up there because it's already completed.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes that away, which makes sense in solo because then it'd be really tough to get the whole thing done. But also on, I play Thursday nights with a group, and that Tuesday or Monday, the buddy called because he's got like thousands of games. I don't have that much, but I have the second most in our group. So he asked me, he's like, "Do you have Wondrous Creatures?" I was like, "No, but I heard it's really good." Because that's George's number one.
So good.
And so I figured he was going to buy it, and he did. So we played it that Thursday night, and it's fantastic. I think it would jump up to my number 3 of my top 10 if I played it. Redid that top 10.
I'm so glad you like it.
I mean, at that night, I came home and bought it. I went online and bought everything. Unfortunately, you can't buy it's Kickstarter exclusive animals, so it kind of those are missing. But I mean, it's wonderful. It's the same people that made Life of Amazonia, and that's a really good game with the animals. You're placed them on the board and trying to score depending on how your animals are. And this is a little different. This is where you use your animals you get 3 animals. You can use them as a worker placement. George already explained a lot of this, but it is, I'm not, as we know, I'm not very fond of the artwork on the cover, but otherwise it's pretty neat. It's like, I like how you have your captain that you hook onto the animal, and that one you can have a special ability with that one once you unlock that.
Right, the captains.
Right.
Yes.
And the eggs, getting the eggs. I mean, it's just, and you put it where you put your animals, what resources you get. And then you can also use the trophies, or not the trophies. Some of the hexes have secondary actions that you can kick off.
Yes, you can use your nets and
nets. That's it. Yes, I'm going
your
blank.
Captain is like reaching off the back of your creature and grabbing a thing. But it's just so smooth. The gameplay, it's really, really good.
And you're rooting for other people to do things so they can put out more hexes, because the hexes go on the water spaces. Therefore, it gives you more areas where you put your animal to pull more resources, so it helps you even better.
Yeah, as the game goes on, there's an arc.
Yeah, you're always trying to hope those, yourself or the teammates to put those out, get further along the track so you can get those too and be able to use them. And it's an excellent game. And the card game, I mean, it's obviously cards you're pulling out, and they can have in-game scoring or during the game actions. But
told you,
it's an excellent game. It's still not as good as Tyr and the Nogue, but it is an excellent game. I mean, like I said, I even 3D printed out an insert for it and everything. That's how, and I'm actually looking forward to trying that solo.
This is the game at River City Con that I had on the table and we just didn't play, right? The one that looks like a book. The box looks like a book.
The box looks like a book. That's the art that he doesn't like so much. But the inside art,
it was actually a play to win. And so I checked it out. Whoa. Yeah, it was on the table, but we didn't have enough time to read through it and play it. So I just ended up taking it back.
Oh.
But I remember opening it and everything was awesome looking. So I'm kind of sad now that all the good talk about it didn't get to play it. So
art is huge for me, and that one is one of the top ones of the year for sure. Bad Comet Games. Anything they put out now, I'm very interested.
So have you played Life of Amazonia?
I've not. Very interested.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not as good as this one, but it's pretty good. I highly recommend it.
Well, cool. For me, Sierra and I had played a game called Alice's Garden.
Okay.
Have you all played this one?
No.
It's a little polyomino game where you have different, Tetris shapes that you're going to fill in a grid, like 3,000 other games out there. But what makes it unique is you will choose a bag. All the shapes are 4 blocks big, right? And your board is effectively I think it's like a 6x8 grid. That might be wrong, but it's, you get the idea at least. On your turn, if you're the first player, you will choose a bag, and maybe you choose the bag that has squares, and you take out a piece per player, except for on the very first draw, you take out an extra one. And so there's for the rest of the game, there's always going to be one extra piece, because the first round you take out one extra piece. So you put, in a 2-player game, you put 3 pieces out. I take a piece, you take a piece. There's one left. Then it's your turn. You're going to draw going forward. After the first draw, you're going to take only the number of players worth of pieces out. So now you're adding 2 to the one that's out there. So there's always going to be 3 choices. Or in a 4-player game, there's always going to be 5 choices. But anyway, you take a piece and you put it on your board, and each piece is made up of all these different types of effectively like colors, but there's like mushrooms, there are chess pieces, there's trees, and they all have different ways of scoring.
Okay, so is this like Alice from Alice in Wonderland?
Yes. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
Alice's Garden, which is more like Alice in Wonderland Garden.
Got it.
And so, for instance, like the trees, if you put them in a column or a row, you want to have them far apart because you get points based on how far away from each other they are without a tree in the middle or whatever. Mushrooms, if you have 2 per column, you get 8 points. There's a chessboard that's kind of in the middle, and you can flip the board over and play one where the chessboard is kind of broken up around the whole board. But as long as a chess guy is on a chessboard space, they give you 5. I won't go through the rest of them, but there is one last one I'll say is there is like a guardian, I think they're called. They look like the little, card dudes that are alive with the spears,
Oh, yeah.
And if you put those together, you actually get to draw these single space tiles from the bag. But what's interesting about this one is you put them off to the side and you place them at the end of the game, because the game is triggered when somebody can't place a piece. So you just finish that round, the game ends. But then you take all your pieces you have off to the side and you slot them all in. So as you're collecting them through the game, you're like, well, I don't need to put a piece here because I have enough singles that I can make up this area. Or, like, because there's roses and you want those in like groups of 5. And it's just really fun. I mean, there's a lot of games that do this in the 30-minute, like Acropolis, right? We liked Acropolis. We thought it was fine, but it got really repetitive. I'm assuming this one will too, but it's a little bit faster than Acropolis.
Okay.
And I like the way that you draft the tiles, sort of like Framework, except Framework's always like reverse order. Anyway, it was really fun. It's a good game. And if you're looking for like a game that you can play on your lunchtime, then that one's definitely a good one. Even with 4 players, it's probably maybe not the first time you play, but it's 30 minutes for sure.
That sounds good.
I always thought Acropolis was pretty fast too.
Yeah, Acropolis is fast. We played on lunch a bunch with 2 people, but I think with 4 players, it's a little bit longer.
I like the theme of Alice in Wonderland. I always have. So I think that'll push it over the edge for me better than something like Acropolis.
Yeah, I mean, the theme is there, but it's there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Right, it's not strong. Yeah.
Right. Other than that, I went to a half price. They have a sale going on this weekend, which is going to be dope. 20% off everything. But I bought stuff anyway. I bought these, the Stonemeyer treasure chests for $10 a piece, and I bought 2 of them.
Oh.
It's just like 6 different resources. They look really awesome. They're resin and metal. And on top of that, one of the boxes randomly had all the metal coins for viticulture. So it was a very good score.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Especially because these things are like $40 or so normally. And like,
oh my gosh,
the viticulture coins are 30. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm going to pimp out some games here.
Yeah, great. That's a great find. I remember what you're talking about where they made this and it was all the different really nice components that they had.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what game they originally had it with. Was it Scythe? And then they made this?
I think Euphoria is what they were.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Now I'll have to slip over to half price this weekend then.
You will. They told me that my loyalty card that's filled will stack. So I'm going to get 45% off.
Wow.
Time to liquidate. All right. Well, if you guys are good, we're going to move on to the topic. You ready?
Yeah.
I like this topic. I'm ready.
All right, cool. So right now we're going to go through, this isn't necessarily a top 10 list, but we are going to go through our favorites, or at least things that we are excited about that are coming out at Origins 2025. There's a preview list on Board Game Geek. So thank you to Board Game Geek. We are not affiliated with them, but I am a patron. I have, so I feel like I can use this. I don't know if I can or not, but I think it's okay. Fair use, right? I paid them $15. Anyway, there's like 120 games or so that are coming out so far. There may be more than that because obviously this is just what's been curated onto this page. So if a publisher has not submitted this to them or no one knows it's coming out, or maybe they want to surprise everyone, there could be other games, accessories, or anything that might come out that is not on this list. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to go ahead and begin. And so if you're listening to the podcast, we are doing something different. We are going to be sharing our screens so that we can make a video of this later on, but we're gonna describe it to the audio podcast listeners anyway. So you don't really need to watch the video, but if you're watching the video on YouTube, this might make it a little bit more entertaining. So the first game that I'm going to talk about is Grand Central Skyport. This is a steampunk, I guess, kind of like a set collection type of game. I'm not going to go over all the rules. Obviously, I don't know it well enough to talk about it that, in depth. But basically, you have this rondel of cards out here that when you play a card, there's a number kind of on the top of the left of this balloon card that you have. And it's going to let you move your balloon around this rondel and pick up a card. And when you pick up cards, you're going to place them in front of you. You have these like skyports, I guess. And these skyports have colors on the left and right. And ideally, you want to match those for scoring at the end of the game, but it's not necessary, I don't think. Anyway, on these cards, there are like stars. And it kind of reminds me of, what's that game? That little card game by Reiner Knizia, Lost Cities. So you're going to get points equal to, like, for instance, if you had like 4 orange cards and then there was 3 stars on those orange cards, it's 4 times 3. So that's kind of how the scoring is going to be, but you only score them if they're stacked on each other. So as you place these cards out here, they actually have abilities like 2 spaces to the right. So you get to place cards and then they move around to stack on top of each other. In addition to that, your skyports can have these people, I guess they are, that get attached underneath of them. And they have like scoring mechanisms that might trigger as well. And so you got to keep those in mind. And there's just a lot to think about in this game where you're just collecting basically, I think, 6 colored balloons. And I say balloons, they're actually like hot air balloons that look very steampunk. But it just seems like a super cool game. Anytime I see steampunk, I'm on board anyway. And I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, that's on my list too, especially because I love the rondel mechanism. So that caught my attention, and then putting the cards like that, trying to make scoring based on what cards you have. And that was definitely caught my attention, and I'll be checking that one out.
Yes, this looks good. This wasn't on my list. I wasn't as aware of this one. Now that you've pointed it out, I love the idea of the rondel. That art is great, and I'm not a steampunk person.
It looks super cool.
Yeah,
it's very vibrant.
Good. Yes.
Yes, this is. I'm hyped for this one now. Yeah,
some of the prototype components look like they might be acrylic, or the standees are acrylic. I don't know if they're going to actually end up having from the video I saw, they had like miniatures, like hot air balloon miniatures that you're going to move around. But these prototype pictures, they got acrylics. So I don't know how the components are going to look, but I'm down either way.
I feel like those acrylics better than like a.
The acrylics do look sweet, don't they? Because they're you got color to them, and you don't have to paint stuff.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I would rather have that.
The art reminds me of the BioShock video game.
Yes.
If you ever played that.
Yeah.
Less depressing though. Yeah.
Right. It is. It's very vibrant. It's very colorful. It looks like a strong gateway kind of game.
Yeah, I don't know. It has a weight of, let's see. The weight on it is a dash. So we don't know for sure. I don't know, but I would assume it's not super light, but it's not medium either. So maybe a little heavier of a light game.
Yeah.
At least in the idea of what you're doing, the gameplay is probably pretty simple. So
right.
Anyway,
I don't think 25th Century Games puts out really heavy games.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
This one looks like a winner. Good
All
choice.
right, George, what game you got?
Okay, the first game that I picked out, let me share the screen here with everyone, is called Button Kingdoms. And Button Kingdoms is a game where you're deck building, and the idea is your kids that are using these fluff animals and buttons to recreate these wars with each other. And you're using the buttons to trade to get the animals or toys, the toy animals, onto your side. So it's this this cute theme. The art is well done. I'll see if I can bring up some of the images here. For example, here's one of the cards that has like a sort of a Three Musketeers sort of, well, maybe not Three Musketeers, but anyway, it's like a cat plushie, right? So it's going to be a war game, but all of the art is sort of cute and toys and that sort of thing. But when you're playing the game, you're going to be bribing each other to take cards from people and put them from other people into your deck. So there's this social dynamic that goes on top of the actual gameplay, which I assume is going to be something sort of like war or something like that, where you're playing cards to attack each other. So it's got this sort of two layers to what's
do you
going
like
on.
games like that? I can't remember if you like direct combat kind of war games.
I don't, and that's why this is my number 10.
Yeah.
Well, that's one reason. The other reason is because I'm not entirely convinced about the art. It has sort of a very unique style to it. Yeah, I do rather like it, but not entirely. I'm not entirely convinced by it. And the third reason is because this was a Kickstarter game, and it was being kickstarted in February, and then it canceled. So I don't actually know if this is going to be coming out anytime soon, or if they're going to redo the Kickstarter. But it's on the list, so they should be at Origins. And if they are, maybe check them out. Button Kingdoms is the name of the game.
On the list, it said Q2 2026, but it was demoing at Origins, which
Okay.
I'll have to run by there and look.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's got some cute art to it at any rate.
Well, cool.
And I think it could be some interesting sort of competitive style gameplay. That's my first pick here.
Interesting pick by George. I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, animals.
All right, James, what you got?
Not really animals. They're toys.
They look like animals.
Okay, the first game I'm going to talk about is Last Command. It's like a Star Realms dual deck building game. Oh, that's pretty much it, and that's why that interests me. I like Star Realms a lot. So you've got cards you play ships, and then you play pilots or crew members of the ships, and you're playing cards to damage the other player. It's just a 2-player game. You're fighting back and forth and it's a deck builder, which is one of my favorite mechanics is deck building. So, I mean, this one grabbed my attention. It doesn't look flashy, but it looks pretty good. I mean, the tracks look pretty good, and you got your own little board, and you place where you put your ships, and then each ship will have damage of its own. That's what it looks like. And it's something I really want to delve into deeper once I look at it in person. But yeah, that's mainly what caught my attention, that it was a Star Realms adjacent type of, you're a deck builder and you're fighting your person across from you.
It's very similar to the game that I was looking at, but this one is 2-player, like you said, so it's definitely in your face attack back and forth.
Right.
And this is not by the people that made Star Realms, right? That's
no.
White Wizard?
No, it's by Sentient Games.
Okay, because this looks like you could just slap Star Realms on it. I mean,
right. The game, it just says,
dude, everything looks okay, guys.
They might change it by that time.
There's inspired and then straight up just saying, you know what? We really like that game. I'm going to pretend I made it. Like,
well, maybe, to be fair, it's all space stuff. So, how different can it be?
I mean, that's fair. Space games really do look similar every single time you see them, or they look really generic. I mean,
yeah, it's a generic space game in the sense that a generic fantasy games, they sort of look similar too. But that's because I'm not that into these kind of space games. I can say that.
So that's Last Command, and that's why it was my virtual 10th place, because it is more or less Star Realms, but looks like a different twist on it.
All right, well, I'll jump into the next one real quick. It's a game that they were when we talked prior to the podcast, we for this type of thing, we're not looking for a top 10, so we don't want any overlaps. So every game that you hear on our list is going to be unique games. This one, they kind of, when I say they, George and James, weren't very interested because whatever. But
But it's a bidding game or something like that, or a
kinda.
trick
This is
taking.
it says Mino dice, but the picture looks like it's going to be called Mythical Dice. Here's the funny part. It was used to be called Skull King the Dice Game.
Oh,
So this actually re-implements Skull King as a dice game. So it plays just like Skull King. So you're going to draft the difference is you're going to get, there's 10 rounds, just like in Skull King. Each round you get, if you're not familiar with Skull King, maybe I should say that.
that is a trick taker.
It's a trick taking game. It's more like a ladder climbing game, I think, or like a follow along. It's not really necessarily a trick taking game, even though you're taking tricks. You're just, I don't know. I'm going to go with trick taking game. Each round you get in Skull King, you get a card per round, right? And then you have to get, bid on how many tricks you're going to take or whatnot. Same thing with this. You're going to get dice from the bag for each round. And so when you go to play a die into the pool, you roll it. So there's that thing, which is kind of random.
Yeah.
But it also has a very similar, this beats that. And then there's like 3 different trumps, just like Skull King. So you have your basic suits, and whoever leads the suit will, that's considered, I guess, trump or whatever. You got to follow the lead, but then there's these special dice, I guess. I don't know what they're called in this. They have like just symbols, but it's like this beats that, beats this, beats that, and all that crap.
Yes. And each of the different kinds of dice have different numbers
Values.
of pips.
Yeah.
Aha.
So it's going to be really interesting. There's also this, when you bid on how many tricks you're going to win, you can also say that you're going to make 0, but you end up getting like 10 points per round. So if you bid 0 in like the 7th round, you get 70 points type of deal, but you also get negative 70 if you fail at that, so it's like a big risk, big reward. So I don't know, like I out of all the Grandpa Bet games, Skull King is probably the only one I really actually enjoy. And so to see a dice game version of it, I can't think of any other dice games that are trick taking games. So that would be interesting. So
It sounds good. Yeah, it's one that I had just overlooked for the reasons that you said. I didn't realize that it was a Skull King sort of game. That's very interesting.
Mythical Dice. I guess when it was published overseas, or if it came out, I don't know, but it used to be called Skull King. I don't know if maybe I don't know what happened, but right now it's just called Mythical Dice. So
yeah. Okay.
Real quick, James, we're getting some feedback on your mic. So if you mute when you're not talking for a little bit.
Okay.
Cool. George, what we got next?
Oh, okay. Back to me. So it's going fast because we don't have as much information about these games sometimes. This is one example. I have more examples like that, but this one I know just a little, and it is called Meerkat Kingdoms. So my first one was Button Kingdoms, now Meerkat Kingdoms. Every game on my list is going to be Kingdoms. This one is area control, and you're leading a band of meerkats. And so you have your color of meerkats, and you have a board that is going to be modular. You set out the arrangement prior to starting the game, and then you're competing to have area majority on each of the pieces by putting out your meerkats. And then you have special moves that you can do where you swap meerkats with somebody else, or you take the victory points that a particular area gives you and you move that over to another spot. It's those kinds of things, but with meerkats as the theme. So it's a bit low on my list because I'm not such a fan of those kinds of area control games, but I think this one could be cute.
But you saw the art?
I did. The art and who doesn't like meerkats? So
yeah, and this was on my list too for area control and dice rolling. I mean, it sounds really good. It just I'm looking at it now. I don't see any pictures at all.
No, that's the thing. We just have not so much information, but
it sounds pretty interesting, and especially like that area control is another mechanic I like.
It's not so high for me because there is a lot of take that, and I think in this one in particular there will be as well. So if someone is sort of setting up what they want to accomplish, and then you're like, "Well, haha, I just messed up your plan by, exchanging your meerkat for mine, and now you can't do anything." I don't know how much there will be, but I think there'll be at least some of that. So I'm just going to wait and see. But
Fair
that's
enough.
my next one, my number 9. That is Meerkat Kingdoms.
All right, what you got,
Okay.
George? James. I just stared at George's name in Zoom. It was like, what you got, George?
A card game from 25th Century Games called Big Sur. What you're doing is you're trying to build your highway across the Pacific Coast Highway. So you're just putting cards next to each other to score points, and you'll have to use other cards as resources. So it's a multi-use cards. So on the back you have the resources, so you'll spend those cards for the cost of that card you want to play, and then that will give you so many certain points. And then you could play other, I think, tourist destinations on top of it, so you get more points. So it seems like a really light, just a route building card game. Definitely want to give this a try because in my household, these type of games are usually a hit, and we usually play them a lot. So don't know much else about it. So that's pretty much it. It says it's the pattern building's what it says, and multi-use cards.
Well, at least
Yeah.
there is some art for that one.
Right.
And the thing that I noticed about it right away, the palette is really striking. And I love the way that when you put the cards out next to each other, the road continues,
Correct.
but it's not just a straight line. They've made it more interesting, and
Just
the
like the
way that they've
Pacific Coast.
done the art is really, really clever. I think that's a very attractive card game.
And
Yeah,
there's
it looks super
there-
cool.
There's certain things about if you have a card with the forest or by the water and stuff like that will contribute what you're doing. So, and it looks very interesting. I'm definitely going to try that one out.
So for my next game, it is another game by All Play. And this is one of the 4 games that get released in the Kickstarter that, James, you said, well, before the podcast, we were talking and you said you had kickstarted this, and I guess they're all coming out at this Origins, and this is called Ruins. Like I said, this is by All Play. Now, just to go directly into this is a re-implementation of the game Custom Heroes. So I don't know if you all had played that. It is, when I was talking about Skull King last, for some reason I had this in my head too. Skull King is absolutely a trick taker. This, however, is the ladder climbing game that I was talking about. So if somebody plays like 3 threes, you got to follow with 3 of a kind that's higher than 3s, or if you have all straights, you got to follow the straight, all that stuff. The difference is as you get cards, you're going to buy cards, and before you play them, you're actually going to buy these upgrades and add to the cards and then play them or whatever. So if you've ever played Custom Heroes, I think it's a distilled, more streamlined version of that without the anime theme and a very generic ruins, not medieval, but like Indiana Jones kind of ruins theme to it, which, okay. I mean, honestly, I think the anime theme was a little bit cooler, even though I'm not like super into anime, just because it's, you see these characters get power ups, and when you've slotted when you slotted the transparent cards over the other cards, they would, now they have a fireball or a sword or whatever. And this, it's like, here's more rooms to this ruin, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It doesn't strike me as being as effective as a theme.
Yeah, but I will say this. I really, really enjoyed Custom Heroes. I own it. I will play this to see, hey, maybe I can upgrade, quote unquote, or replace it. But basically, it's just a trick kind of trick-taking game, but more like teach you. I would say the way the tricks are done.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened was All Play on this Kickstarter, they said they were going to do replacements for River Valley Glassworks if you back them. So I was going to back this for $1, which they said to do. And then I was looking at it, and I was like, well, there's a handful of All Play games we always play. So might as well just go all in on all 4 of these that they were doing. And this is one of them.
It was a good
I don't
price
want to talk
too.
about the other ones in case you all talk about those. But Ruins, I was like, well, it'd be it's cheaper to just get them and then try them and maybe resell them if we don't like them, but might as well just get them. So they're supposed to come in next month or June, I think. So it should be in before Origins, and that's why I'm not going to talk about them, because I'm looking forward to getting the Kickstarter.
Yeah, you already got them. Right. Well, it's good to bring it up for people who aren't aware. All Play has all these box size. They're really stringent, or not stringent, but specific on their boxes, right? And this falls in line with their fat little small box. I don't know what you would call these, but they're lighter games. But some of the ones that we have in this list that we're going to be talking about, and the ones that they have for sale, some of them are a little bit chunkier, and those are really good. So anyway, yep, yeah, that's
If you've ever been to a con with All Play, they have that dispenser thing. I don't know how their display of games, and it's kind of like a spring loaded each row, so you pull it out and the next one comes up. So I think most of these have to fit in that type of thing, is why they're that size.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
It's pretty cool if you ever been to their booth.
They got a really nice booth, and they got tons of really nice gaming tables you kind of walk up to and stand at. But everything you stand at, I remember correctly, so it's long enough to play, but just enough to maybe hurt your legs. But they have really nice cushions on the floor too. And now I'm just rambling. George, what's your next one?
Well, hang on. I don't know this dispenser that you're talking about, but it made me think of like a vending machine. We should have vending machines with board games, and you could have like these little box sizes where you could go and you're at a rest stop along the highway, right? And you can buy like a $10 candy bar, or you could get an All Play game. That'd be amazing.
I'm trying to think what it's more like. It's because I think Exploding Kittens had something like a vending machine at cons before.
They did,
but it's more.
Or at an airport, you
just load everything up and
$20 for an egg sandwich, or you could get a board game.
No, it's more or less where they load it in and it pushes this spring loaded thing back, this panel, and then when you pull it, the next one comes up. It's like I can't remember what store that has this type of stuff. Then
are you just talking about the way it's displayed?
Right,
like it's displayed almost
that's how
like
you pull the games too.
You put like 10 games in a slot, and as you pick one, it pushes the next one forward, so it always looks like the shelf is full.
But it's actually really nice. But I mean,
yeah, but it's that handy. The size of game is that handy. And my next one is, in fact, also from All Play, and I think it's also the same small box type of game. Let me share this screen for those who can see, and I'll describe it. It is called Alibis, and it's a cooperative word association game. So it's sort of along the lines of code names or decrypto and all that kind of thing. And in this one, the idea is you have all of these cards that are villains, of like superhero villain kinds of characters, and they have words on them. And then you're going to be writing down a clue onto your token and hiding that until it's time to reveal. And that clue is supposed to point out two of these villains, so that whatever word you put down should lead people by association to only two of them. And everybody's doing this cooperatively so that all of the villains will be eliminated if you can decipher the association of everyone's clue, because only one will be left, and that will be the actual guilty party. So maybe they're not all villains. They've been accused, but only one of them is really the villain.
That seems really cool. What's that Unusual Suspects and some other games like that?
It's all that kind of thing, and it's just one more of those, so it didn't come so high on my list. But I do like the theme of this, and I do think it'll be very fun.
Nice. Yeah, it looks good. At first, I wasn't super excited about a lot of these All Play little square boxes, but then after playing Lure and a couple of the other ones, man, they got some good ones. Yeah. They got some really good ones.
Things in Rings is tremendous.
Yeah.
Mountain Goats is a big hit at my house.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that one's good too. Okay. All right, James, what you got?
Mine is, next one is the Architects of Amethyst. This one is a tile drafting game, but you use workers. So you place the worker on top of the stack of the different colored tiles in the different buildings. And what you have is you start out with 2 personal goals, and it's usually a pattern of what you want. So you grab the tile from this board, and then you pull it over to your board in front of you. So you got a 3x3 grid in front of you. So you're placing. Oh, that doesn't look like it at all. Hold on.
That is
I was going to say that.
a fan retheme.
Right.
Oh man, I got excited by that. I was like, man, Sierra's gonna love these, all these mushroom dudes and everything.
Somebody put in some work.
They did.
I know. I was like, that didn't look right at all. Because this is actually on BGA, Board Game Arena, to play right now. But it has, even though that previous screen said it was released last year, it hasn't been released yet. And you place your workers on these tiles. It's a 3x3 grid of stack of tiles. And they all represent different colors and buildings. And based on the type of building, you might want it on the scoring period around your board, like a wall you want on the outside of your grid, your 3x3 grid, your personal grid. And then also there's a tic-tac-toe mechanic, which is sounds dumb when you first hear that. But what it is the tic-tac mechanic is when you place your workers, if you form a straight line of 3, any tic-tac-toe type thing,
right,
you'll be able to pick a objective card, a new one, to start trying to fill that one. And you can see the objective cards are like that. It's trying to get, you want 2 pink here and 2 blue in that certain pattern, and you'll get 10 points. You can rotate it anyway, you just can't mirror it.
Okay.
And so I keep pulling that one up. So, and then there's also in-game scoring. Another thing you can do with the tic-tac-toe is put this in-game scoring marker, and it's based on how many stacks. Because you can, once you bring the tile over to your board, you can stack it on an existing tile. There's no limit. So you can actually score per number of tiles at the end of the game. There's just different scoring options. So you're wanting to try to do tic-tac-toe, but you're also trying to block your opponent from doing it so they don't get more objective cards or the in-game scoring.
And tic-tac-toe, this is just a 2-player game?
Yes, just 2-player.
Okay.
That's all I played it with, so that's why I didn't know for sure. But yeah, as you see on this picture, it shows the tic-tac-toe, the 3 guys in the middle.
Yeah, okay.
So it's actually a fun little game, and it's pretty light. What's it? A 2 out of 5 and 30 minutes. I'd say in real life, once you start really playing it, it'll probably be less than that because it's really fast. You're just putting your guy down, pulling the tile.
Well, I've gotten more excited by this game. I saw it on the list and I didn't put it on mine, which good thing I didn't because you had it on yours, but I saw 2024 and scared me off. So,
and it's rare that if I play a game on Board Game Arena first that I like it that much, but I like it on Board Game Arena, so I know I'll like it in person too.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks good. It's a French game, I think.
La Boîte de Jeu. I don't know.
La Boîte de Jeu?
Yeah. I think it's something about the word blue. Making stuff up.
Yeah, I don't know French. I took Spanish.
So. All right. My next one on my list is Please Don't Burn My Village, which I assume it's very important to point out that this is in the Castle Panic universe because name association wins.
Right.
It plays nothing like it, obviously, and it has nothing to do with it. But it's published by Fireside Games, and this is a little card game. There's not tons of pictures on here, but there's 6 different types of cards here. And if you look at the back of the box, there's a board where you have one of each of those token, or you have 6 different tokens that represents the 6 cards in the game, and they're placed in a row. And on the far left, it's the weakest amount of points. And then the points increase to where they, go up to 5 on the icon on the far right. Below that, there's a board that has these little tents that have like values on it. And that's how much you have to pay by discarding cards from your hand to take all the cards that are stacked below this. And then when you start the game, there's like 1 card on each of these spots. The idea of the game is, and I'm going to maybe butcher these rules slightly, but you can either draw a card from the deck or you can play cards in front of you or you can discard cards to buy one of those tenths worth of cards, whatever stack there is, because maybe you want whatever's there. And when you place cards in front of you, effectively, you're going to score those at the end of the game. So if you play 2 axes in front of you, then what's also going to happen is the axe token moves up 2 spaces to become worth more. And then if somebody discards cards to purchase one of those tenths worth of those stacks of cards, I'm just going to call them stacks, to buy a stack of cards, then it actually lowers whatever you discarded. It lowers those tokens down. And so like the tokens are constantly moving back and forth, and you're trying to play cards that you think are going to be worth points at the end of the game, and then your token, because if you play tons of axes, but then everybody discards a bunch of axes to make it go all the way down at the bottom, that's going to be rough for you. I can't remember what else happens, but something else happens to where if you do something, then cards flip out on those stacks. I think you know what it is? I think when you play those axes in front of you, or when you discard, one of the two, I can't remember now, you flip out cards until you draw the thing that you played or discarded or whatever. And so that's how the cards
collecting.
You're
to
set
get the
collecting.
most value, because then you can offer that to the dragon. And if you come in with the least value, you're the village that's going to get burned.
I guess. I mean, I think it ends up just being whoever has the most points wins. But
I mean, really.
Yeah. But it's a small little card game. It says 20 minutes, and effectively I like those games. I like those games, and it's pretty simple. It just, you go through the deck once, and when the deck's out, the game ends, and then you just count up points based on the stuff that's in front of you and where the token is on the score track. So if axes are worth a lot and you get a lot of axes, you're doing good. But obviously if somebody sees that, they're going to try to discard them or whatever it is to be able to move that token back down.
Yes. Okay.
Pretty cool looking game. I'm not a big fan of the art. I think it's kind of generic looking, and the fact that it says it's set in the world of Castle Panic. I mean, okay, sure guys, but yeah, that's kind of a stretch for me. Like,
the theme is a bit thin here. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. You're just throwing the word Castle Panic on there to get sales, which I guess is not a bad strategy, but at the same time, I don't know.
It's your flagship. Yes, that's why.
But I mean, they're proud of it because Castle Panic did really well. There's a bunch of pictures on here of them playing like in a castle or something.
Oh,
I don't know. Kind of fun, I guess. Good promotional images and candies, apparently. Anyway, please don't burn my village.
All right. Cool. I have one that is next. It's going to be another I'll play game.
I mean, we're just racking out I'll play. We will take our check.
This one's on the Kickstarter, so
yeah, their Kickstarter had a whole bunch all together, and then they're all coming out at the same time. So
spoiler alert, we are talking about all of the ones on that Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
So keep going. Sorry.
Well, here's another of them, and it appeals to me because in this one it's called Odd Land, and what you're doing is you're trying to take these cards. If you can imagine a card broken into 4 quadrants with a different type of terrain on each one, there's a deck of those, and you're going to be putting those out to create a playing field. So you're building out the island as you play, and as you do that, then you have all of these odd animal mashup kinds of creatures, like the piggy-horse, which is a combination between a pigeon and a horse. Anyway, there's 8 of these kinds of creatures that you're going to be putting out into the habitats that you're creating. And the way that you put them is going to determine how they score, very similar to Cascadia. And so you have cards for each of these animals, and there's going to be 2 for each one in the game, and you choose how does it score in this particular go round. And that's it. You put out the cards. Oh, and when you put them out, you overlap half of the card. So these cards have 4 spaces. 2 of them have to overlap 2 other spots on the board. So you can mess with people's plans and you can set yourself up. But then you can only have 1 animal in each different area. So
it's like Cascadia, but you're playing on one map.
you're playing on one map, and the areas can only contain one creature each, and you have one of each creature in your color, and everyone else has one of each creature in their color. And so very fast play. You put out a card, you put out a creature. It looks good.
This is very similar looking and looks like the same gameplay, close to it, as another all play game called Chomp, but that's with dinosaurs. But
Okay.
you do the same card, you overlay the cards just like that 4x4
Right.
card, and you're trying to make sure all the certain dinosaurs are together and certain stuff like that. It looks very similar.
And you can pay twice as much and get these really cool wooden meeples of all these crazy animals. And you know what? I think it would make a huge difference to the gameplay, because when you're looking,
nice.
They look nice and you can see them. And when the animals are laying down tokens, you have to do a lot more mental work to sort of see, okay, where are they? Which area are they going to be in? Yeah.
And they're kind of big, so you don't see the terrain as easily underneath of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the meeples are the way to go. And they do look really very nice.
They look super good.
Going to be very quick. Even at twice the price, it's not that much money. So very, very quick to teach, very quick to play. I think it'll be fun. It'll be, a game for when you want something that takes half the time of Cascadia.
I'm starting to regret not backing this Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed Chomp a lot, so I know that I will definitely enjoy this one.
Yep, I think I will too. That's my number 7.
Okay, my next one is the ugliest game on that list. It's a heavy 4-weight game. It's called Raising Chicago. And if you look at this picture, that looks terrible. As an ugly terrible, not gameplay terrible.
Yeah.
It brought back memories of Beyond the Sun. I don't know if you ever played Beyond the Sun, but that's not a very pretty game either, but it is a very fun game. So I was like, I'm very interested in this. You're building, it's a historic game, so you're trying to elevate the buildings in Chicago to keep from flooding the sewers and stuff in the late or mid 1800s. What I can gather from it, you're building these squares in the middle. There's 4 columns of 2x5 squares, and you're trying to build up Chicago because you have the Great Lake next to it, which off the top of my head I can't remember which one it is. And I don't think it's Michigan. It might be. Well, I don't know. And then
Erie?
What you're doing,
probably Erie. I don't know.
You're playing players or cards.
I'll Google it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I've been to Chicago, but I just don't remember what lake it's on. But so what you're trying to do is you're building little.
It is Michigan.
Squares and.
All right. Well done.
I'm trying to remember it. Okay, these show it better. So what you got, the little colored square, your colors, little probably plastic or wooden squares, and then you build them up and you got this little building on top of it. And I'm assuming based on the roads that you're on and these tiles in between the buildings that they show here, they look like scoring type tiles. So I'd say you're going to want a certain building and a certain level on a certain block of Chicago to score. Beyond that, that's pretty much all I know about this game. There's not much on this one, but it looks very intriguing. It looks like, as you see at the bottom of this with cards, and it looks like those like scoring cards from My City or something where you put the thing on your square on it to score there or something. I'm not sure, but I definitely want to look into this because I like the heavier games like this. The only thing that might turn me off is it says economic, which I don't know. I think you're bidding on certain things. I'm terrible at bidding games, so that's why I don't like them. So so I don't know. But other than that, I like the other aspects of it. The city building, it says territory building. So if you're wanting, you score based on your groups and where your buildings are. That's my type of game. And like I said, it's not very pretty, but it looks pretty good. I mean, if you like mechanics and just games that are probably crunchy and thinky, this one's for you. If you like theme, well, this got theme, but if you like pretty boards like George, this is probably not gonna be.
I'll agree with you. The board itself is pretty bad, but I think once you once you're playing and you get your colored pieces all over it, I think that's going to help out.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about this game. Unfortunately, I've not encountered it yet, but I do know it is made by Capstone Games, and they don't do bad games. So I
But
mean,
Correct.
this also
another
looks
one in
like
its
it's
favor.
very prototype in the components and artwork that they're showing
Yes.
on Board Game Geek. So it's very likely this could go through a lot of revisions. I'm assuming this one says it's for demo at Origins and probably not purchasable.
I know. I imagine it would be. I think it's out. Yeah.
Is it really?
They don't have the greatest pictures here, but this one is one that you can get. I
I don't
believe.
know
Yeah.
if you can see what I'm.
But it is Spielwork, so it's probably it's either they don't have a lot out here, or I really expect this to look a lot better when it comes out.
Actually, me talking about it has got me excited to try it out. I'm actually really looking forward to this one because I want to see if it.
It's interesting, and like I say, Capstone, they do these heavier games and they do them well. So
Yeah.
I think
Well,
it'd be one to try.
It says it's releasing Q2 2025, so that could be any day now.
It could.
So hopefully they'll have it there at the Capstone booth.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one, which is the fourth game of the All Play Kickstarter, and also one of James's favorite type of games, which is bidding, apparently. Sarcastic. And that is Vegas Strip. And so in Vegas Strip, there's going to be these Vegas casinos that are out. And I'm not like super clear on the rules because I haven't read the rule book. They deleted it from the Kickstarter, and I really wanted to read the rule book. But effectively, I think one person each turn knows this information. That's the one thing I don't know. But somebody knows which casino is rigged and which one is like a safe one or whatever. And you have all these poker chip looking things that you're going to be using to bid. And so on your turn, you're going to put one of your, they're like square poker chips that have just a number, which is between 2 and 7. And you have a symbol. So you're either moon or star or hearts or whatever. And that's like your player color, essentially. Now, your highest token is a black chip. All the rest of them are white. And the only stipulation with your black one is you cannot play that on the casino that you know is rigged or corrupt or whatever the terminology they end up using. But basically, each of these casinos are just a card, and they have poker chips on them. And the example that I'm showing on screen, they all have 10 on it. But obviously, that is, I don't know why. Most time it's just a bunch of ones and different values. So some of them are more juicier than others.
Right.
They also have a character underneath of them that's going to give a special power to the casino. Maybe you can't put too many bid tiles on it, or maybe, there's specific things like when you go there, maybe you get $1 automatically, stuff like that, right? Just like a little bit of a power or type of event that happens when you go there.
That's interesting.
And when on your turn, you're going to place one of these poker chip bidding tokens on a casino. And then the next player will go, so on and so forth. I think you can only have 2 chips on a spot. You add them together. And then if you're in the lead, you kind of put yours at the top. At the end, once everybody's played their bidding tokens, what ends up happening is the rigged casino pays all of the money on it to the person who has the most bidding on it, right? Whoever has the highest amount of bidding. But I guess one player each turn knows which one is corrupt, and they can't put their black token there. They're number 7. So you hinder yourself by knowing it, and you can't bluff or whatever. So, but all the other casinos, whoever has the most value of bids on that gets nothing, and everybody else gets points equal to like their bid. So it has this really interesting gather money off these casinos. It's not just purely about winning. You only want to win the corrupt one, and you want to basically lose all the rest. But you want to have a high number. You want to lose with a high number so that you get the most points out of it. So for a little small bidding kind of box game from All Play, I mean, this sounds super cool, right up my alley.
It's got a lot going on.
A little bit of bluffing, deduction type of stuff. So that's Vegas Strip.
I'm regretting not backing that Kickstarter for all 4.
It looks
right.
pretty good for a bidding game.
Yeah, it's got Vincent Dutrait art.
I didn't even notice that. Good,
oh, yeah.
Keen eye.
That's some good stuff. That looks like a really good game for such a small box. Yeah. My next one is one that I don't understand what it is that prevents companies from just giving us information. I mean, presumably there's a game out there, and they could give us some images of some kind, but this one is called Wispwood. The only reason I know about this is I happened to look at the designer diary that talks about it. And even there, he doesn't really give a lot of images at all. So this one is one in which you're going to be taking a certain kind of will-o-wisp, and there's several different kinds in the game, and they score in different ways, and a pattern. So like a polyomino shape. But then you're going to recreate that pattern on your grid by playing cards that are forest cards. So you put down these trees in the pattern that you've taken. Only one of the spots in that pattern is the will-o-the-wisp. And it's of the type that you've selected at the same time, where you select the two things at once, sort of Cascadia style, right? So then the game goes on, you get more of these, and you have to put the tree pattern into your grid and the will-o-wisp into that pattern as you go, and how those will-o-wisps end up is how they're going to score. But you play several rounds, and each round your grid gets larger, and the trees just fade into the mist and get removed. But the will-o-wisps that you place down, they stay from round to round and influence the next round and how the scoring is going to proceed, which is a really cool concept. So that you have these will-o-wisps that are lighting up the forest, but then the forest, you can't sort of preserve it. It shifts around in the mist. And somehow, ultimately, your goal is to attract a cat into your forest who's chasing these lights, which I don't know that makes any sense at all. But look at this art that is the one image I have. And the cat, come on, that's pretty great. So
when I'm looking at this, I'm
hoping it gets, to where every card is like this, because that's gorgeous. That's just from the cover. It's called Wispwood, and it's by Czech Games Edition. Czech Games, come on, give us some more information. We're not that far away from Origins.
Yeah, it's too bad we don't have other pictures, because you make it sound pretty good.
Remember the game Trap Words they came out with?
Yes, what a great game.
Yes, I immediately thought that the box cover was made by the same artist because very similar art, very vibrant blue.
Yep.
So
yeah, no, it's tremendous. You're right. You're right.
It doesn't look like it is.
No? Oh well.
Cool. That's
neat. What I got. I think the game is going to be great from the description, from the designer diary. And if it has the art that matches the cover, then it's a no-brainer. It's going to be brilliant.
My next one is a solo bag builder called Conservas. It's based at, you're a fisherman off the coast of Spain. And so even though last week, I think I talked about this, I didn't like the little book stuff, or I talked about it with somebody. And but this one it's pretty interesting. I actually watched a video on it. And what you do is you start out with one little boat and you're going out fishing. And how you fish is you've got different fish tokens in your bag. So you're drawing out a certain number of fish tokens. Sometimes, and there's also water tokens, which means no fish. So I think it's like squid maybe, and sardines, clams, and stuff like that. I don't think it's really deep sea fishing. And so anything that goes in a tin, as in TIN. And so what you're doing is you're pulling out these tokens, and this is what fish you catch. And then you could either put them in your boat or tin them up, package them up, and put them on the page up there on that booklet. So it's more or less you're doing objectives. You're going month by month, because that one says January.
I'm sharing because I didn't see you sharing. So I got.
Did I not share?
I got you. I got you.
I clicked share. Oh, sorry about that.
Click it again.
Okay, let's try it again. Oh, it didn't take. So now can you see it?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
there it is.
So sorry about that. So what you're doing is this one's already filled out, pretty far along in the game, this picture. But and there's an open water card. So what you can do is say you need more sardines in your bag. So if you pull out 2 sardines or more, you can leave them in the open water, and then the next round they will multiply. So you'll have more sardines in the bag to pull from later on.
Okay.
And that's how you gain more tokens, is not use them to put on that board to fulfill orders. I'm not 100% sure it's that what they call them, but you're tending on the reverse side of the disc has a little tab, like a tin can tab. So you flip the token over and put it on the board to fulfill an order. And then you can buy more boats. You can add like stuff to improve your boats or give you more points per fish or type like that. And it looks pretty interesting. It's solo only, but the bag building aspect really grabbed my attention because I like bag building. I like deck building. So it intrigued me. This is probably one I'm almost certain I'll probably buy this one if I can. But it looks pretty good. I mean, I watched the video on it, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Fleet, the dice game type thing, but with cards and bag building. So you're buying more boats, which allows you to get more fish, to pull out more fish from the bag. Yep. Hopefully get more points at the end of the game and complete objectives.
I like it. I like the theme of it. I like the art style that they have going here. It's a shame for me that it's a 1-player game because I probably won't go for a 1-player, but I really like that. You have to fish responsibly and the way that you build the bag. That's very cool.
There's supposed to be an aspect to it with conservation too. I don't know much about that part of it, but
don't overfish, right? You have to leave the open water.
It is. Yeah, you're trying to repopulate some of the fish that you need and stuff like that. That's why it's called, I guess, conservus.
It's a great theme. Yeah,
and that's fine.
Looks pretty neat, but as a single player game, I don't think I'm going to be touching that one anytime soon. But it looks amazing.
I do solo a lot, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you on the podcast. That is one thing that there's a lot of people out there that play solo, not as much as people that play multiplayer, but it is definitely a perspective to add that brings value. So awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up on my list is a game called Parks and Potions. This was a Kickstarter game, and there's not a lot of pictures on here, but I'm going to bring up the Kickstarter to kind of just entertain the people listening or watching the video. And so Parks and Potions, the easiest way I can describe this is it feels like it fits in line with the, I said that, but then I completely drew a blank. What's the, oh my gosh. I'm just going to explain the game.
Yep. It'll come to you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. Like the Century, Spice Road level of game. Yeah. I don't know why I just drew a blank. Anyway. And so in Parks and Potions, you are trying to complete these potions. I don't understand what the parks is part of it. I don't really read themes to games, by the way, people.
Okay. Let me help you out.
Go ahead.
You are park rangers.
Oh, here we go.
Oh. You're basically medics, you're vets, and you're going out and you're giving tinctures and different sort of potions, if you will, to the animals to cure them from different diseases and parasites and injuries and whatnot.
All right, there we go. We got some theme going on. The way you do this, though, is on your turn, you're going to be rolling these. I guess just one player goes and rolls these dice, and then everybody simultaneously selects them. So it's very roll and write style of selection, but you're selecting them and actually ticking these tokens, putting them on a card, and you only have slots for 6 of these potions. On top of that, half the dice are dedicated to like the basic colors, and then the other 2 dice are dedicated to all the other colors. And at any point you can do the trade in some tokens, like the color palette stuff, red, blue equals purple or whatever type of deal. And you're going to be spending those to purchase or to complete these, which I guess in what you're saying is you're going to be healing these animals that are diseased or poisoned or whatever it is in front of you.
They just need help. You're helping the animals.
Yeah. And it just says discard this selection of potions to claim the card to get victory points. And at the end of the round, everybody gets more cards in front of them, and you rinse and repeat, 6 rounds or so. And yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. It seems that's what you get what I'm saying when I say it's like a Century Spice Road type of game.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. The theme is paper thin here. I mean, why not put lovely animals on all the cards? I'm in favor, but you're right. It could be anything. You get these things and you turn them into other things.
I see that hawk grabbing a fish, so I don't know if that's too lovely there, but but yeah, it looks fun. I mean, if it's like Century Spice Road, I'm down to play that.
I don't know if it is going to play like Century Spice World, but it gives me that feeling of weight and complexity and stuff like that. So.
No, I absolutely agree. And this is one that was high on my list. So I can chime in a little bit more here. They have a couple of other modes of play, and one of them is you draft the colors that are going to be used. So you draw the potions out of a bag, the certain number, and then you draft them in a snake draft. So the first player goes first, and then second player, third player, fourth player goes twice, and then backwards order, right? So that's a more advanced way to play, and as a competitive game. But then there's a cooperative way to play as well. And so when they've added those other two modes in, I'm much more interested in this, and I'm very sad that I passed on the Kickstarter, and I may have to see if I can find one. Problem is, I'll want the deluxe.
That's fair. You know, one thing before you move on to your game, James, this is kind of relevant to you. At the bottom of the BGG, it'll say like other games that people like that are like this or whatever. And one of them says Lander After the Crash. Oh. So apparently Lander it says 2025. So I think they're making a push for that to come back, I guess.
Oh.
So it's the same game. It's on the same BGG page and everything.
Did you ever play your copy?
I did not.
Do you still have it?
I still have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, George, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue with my theme of not knowing a whole lot or having much to share about some of these games because there just isn't much to share. But my next one is Ham Helsing Monster Hunter.
I saw that.
I knew that was going to be on yours.
2 pigs, a werewolf, and a vampiric boar team up to save Mud Canyon. That's probably enough for me, but it's a cooperative adventure game, and it's a deck building game. So not only is it a deck building game, but you also are doing this thing with the sleeve. So you put the sleeve over the card, and it changes or adds to your abilities. And you're cooperatively trying to match certain icons and colors to defeat these various bad guys. And the whole thing is based on this Ham Helsing comic, which I haven't had the chance to read, but I may have to now. So I'm intrigued. I'm always on the lookout for good cooperative games. This one, it sounds like it could be one of those because I really like deck building and having that as a cooperative, and with the cute art of the Ham Helsing comics, yeah, I'm definitely in.
Nice. I like the name.
Yeah, that's what we've got, and we have one image of the cover of the box. So, Ham Helsing Monster Hunter. It's by Fireside Games.
Cool.
Okay, my next one is a dice game based on a previously released game, and that's called the Belgian Beers Race Dice. And I can tell you more about the original game, the Belgian Beers Race. It is a game where you're in Belgium, obviously, and you're starting from Brussels, and you're going around to the different distilleries, tasting their different alcohol that they distill there. And it's a race. You're racing around the board, trying to you get all these little tags of what depends on what you taste and all. But you have to be careful not to drink too much, or you'll have penalties. And then you can either ride a bike, public transport, or hitchhike. So if you're getting too drunk, you can't ride a bike, which is a preferred way. So you're going to have to do public transport, which kind of gives you a penalty. And then if you're too drunk, they won't let you on public transport. So you're going to be on hitchhiking, trying to get somebody to take you somewhere, which is a lot slower. So
and
it's a very fun game.
Much more dangerous.
Because you're trying to make a route and try to be back to the Brussels in time. And so you can score your tags that you pick up, but you also don't want to go too quick because you don't get enough tags to win the game. So, and this is based off that. And so it was released in 2023 in Europe, but this year is the first year it's going to be released in the United States. So I've been looking at this dice game. I wanted to try it out because, as you can see here, it kind of shows you the little icons with the Meeple and the heart. Those are the distilleries that you're going to, and they'll tell you what type of alcohol that they distill there, and I assume you're going to be trying to mark those off as you go around. And I would think that the track at the top is going to be your tracker of how long you have. So you want to try to get back because, like I said, you're creating a circle route. So you're going to go back. You're going to go to all these distilleries, and you can't go to a distillery more than once. So you're trying to make a route through there and then get back to Brussels before the end of the game so you can score. If you don't get back there, you don't score. You score 0. So I like dice games, especially like roll rights or flip to rights that you can build off each other, like the rock and roll one.
Yeah.
Because where you can play something and that might trigger something else. Those are the definite roll and rights. I don't know if this one does that, but I'm still very interested in looking at this because I really like the game it's based off. It's probably a top at least 50 game for me, the Belgian beers race. So because it's a very fun game. It's one of those ones that make you laugh because you're laughing at everybody being drunk, virtually drunk, and that they have to hitchhike instead of you're riding your bike around. So it's a very good game that it's based off, and I'm very interested in seeing how well they pare it down to a dice game to see if it's still as fun.
Nice.
And hopefully it'll give the same feel of the original game, just in a dice form.
Well,
yeah,
cool.
This one I hadn't really looked into this one, but
this one hasn't been.
Looks
I think
okay.
it was kickstarted. The original, what it's based off, was kickstarted, so it wasn't really well known. I've played it twice, and it's a really fun game. We've always had a blast with it. I'm definitely going to look into this, and if they have that Belgian beers race there, I'll probably pick that up too. But this one I'll definitely check out because I'm really excited just to try this one out, especially because of the game it's based off of.
All right. Well, my next one here is a small little card game, and it is called Wine Cellar by 25th Century Games. I feel like all of our games are like 4 publishers.
You guys are a couple of lushes, is what I'm thinking.
So Wine Cellar is cards, and each card has a bidding value that's at the top. It's just a number. And it also has numbers on the wine bottle. Essentially, there's 8 slots for numbers. And so I think they all have a 1 through 8. It just depends on how it appears on each wine bottle. What that means is you want, like, for instance, one of these wine bottles has the number 8 on the 6th slot, meaning you want that to be the 8th bottle in your row or in your wine cellar at the end of the game. If it happens to be in the 4th slot, you get 7 points. If it happens to be in the 1st slot, it's only worth 2 points. So you want to get these wine bottles and put them in a specific order. But the problem is when you get a wine bottle and you place it, you cannot move it. So when you get another wine bottle, you have to put it above or below it. And so each round, what's going to happen is I think it's per player count. So if you're playing 3 players, there's 3 wine cards out in the middle. And then you see those 3 wine cards, you decide which one you want to get. You play a card from your hand, which is obviously a wine card. And whoever has the highest number picks the first wine card, so on and so forth. But then the cards that you all played to bid on those are the ones that are going to be auctioned basically for the next round or bidded for the next round. So you might put cards out there just to get them out there so that you can try to win them back into your wine cellar. And at the end of the game, you're going to have like this column of wine cards that are horizontally laid out. And then you score, like the very top one, you're going to score whatever the first number is. Then the second, you'll score whatever the second number is, so on and so forth, all the way down to the 8th wine bottle. And you're going to get whatever is in the 8th points. 8 slot of points. You also have like a character card that tells you like, oh, you're trying to collect dry wines and white wines, or maybe you're trying to collect wines made in America or France or whatever. So there's a little bit of bonus points from that, but that's pretty much the game. It's just a deck of really odd shaped, can't sleeve these cards. And, and my favorite part about it is the fact that you're playing cards to get cards, but then those cards become the ones you're going to try to play for next time. It's pretty clever. It seems really cool. The theme, while fine, I mean, I'm not like a enophile or anything. Wine is fine, but it makes no sense because you're basically trying to buy these wines, and I guess you're trying to give them to the player card that you have that gives you bonuses for what type of wines. Cause he's like, I want to drink these type of wines, and you give him which ones to drink in order. So that's what.
Oh, okay. So you're drinking them, and that's why you can't change the order. Because I was thinking, yeah, the theme doesn't make any sense that you can't rearrange your wine cellar ever. Once you put a wine bottle down, it never moves. But,
you're collecting wine bottles to create a cellar for your client, but your bottles are arranged in the timeline order in which he will drink them.
Okay.
Interesting.
Because apparently you put an explosive device on him as you put him in the wine cellar, and if he touches them, so anyway,
the mechanism sounds really interesting, though. Just the way that the points work. So that's cool.
Yeah,
even if the theme doesn't. Yeah.
The theme is kind of whatever, but it's cool that it's wine. It kind of makes sense. I like to picture it more of like an age. Like this one ages really well in like this many years and stuff like that. That would make more sense to me, but.
Yeah, so you save it that long before you drink it. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
That's Wine Cellar by 25th Century.
Very good. My next one is fourth on my list, number 4 on my list. It is a game called Cretaceous Rails. So I'm not sure, speaking of how theme doesn't quite work, I'm not really sure how it is. It's some sort of Jurassic Park thing going on where we have a bunch of dinosaurs and also we're making railroads.
I'm pretty sure I have a promo to this game that I got with For Glory from Spielcraft Games, which, by the way, one of the last episodes before our break, Spielcraft Games was on talking about For Glory. And when we got the Kickstarter for it, I think it came with a promo for this game. So it's crazy that it took this long. So I'm glad to see it coming out. Good for him.
Yeah. So this is one that you have all these little dinosaurs that you're going to be populating these map tiles that are modular. And then you're going to be building your rail system out across the map so that you can take tourists to go and see all the different dinosaurs.
And they won't get eaten.
I'm not entirely sure that that's true, but yeah, you don't want them to get eaten because they're paying customers. And the way that it works is really interesting. You have these cards that have all these different icons on them in a 4x4 grid, and there's a whole set of them. You shuffle them up, and then you take one at a time and you put it out, and that's the grid on which you're going to be doing worker placement. So instead of putting your worker just onto one of the slots, one of the pieces of the 4x4 grid, you're going to put it in between 2 sections, and then you get to do those 2 actions with each activation that you do. So that's an interesting way to do worker placement in a randomized way, and also you can block people off in various ways, but not entirely, because each one of these spots has at least a couple of access points to get the thing that you really need to do. So that's interesting. And then also you're going to be building out cards, and in order to, I'm not really sure in order to do what, to make attractions in your along your railway, I would assume. But in order to build them, the more powerful cards are going to be higher up in level, but you have to have built the foundation in order to stack those cards on top as you build. So how far do you go before you start building your second level and then your third level, and that sort of thing is an interesting question, I think, as well. So this one looks quite good. You're going to be taking people out into your park, you're going to be cutting down foliage to allow more access to see more dinosaurs, I assume. And then you're also going to be capturing dinosaurs in areas that you have deforested as well, and bringing them back to your home park, I think is how it works. So you're loading up your train with these trees and dinosaurs, and then you have to take time to unload as well. So there's all kinds of different decisions that you have to make during the course of this. Seems like a really interesting, complicated Euro with an incredible theme of people out there riding trains to see dinosaurs.
Nice. Yeah,
Cretaceous
looking forward to that
rails.
one.
It only made number 4 on my list. It might have gone higher, except that I'm so annoyed that the game as a Kickstarter was $109 for
Ooh,
absolutely everything.
Wow.
For everything, right? Like with an expansion and with play mats and, like the whole schmeal, the whole deluxe everything. 109, okay, all right. But now if you want to get that, 217.
Wow.
that's quite a jump.
Yeah,
Damn.
I mean,
Jump.
I know we had tariffs and whatnot, but really, come on, guys. So I'm so annoyed by that I'm making it lower than it might actually otherwise be, just for how the gameplay looks. The gameplay looks really pretty good, I have to say.
All right, cool. James, go ahead with your next one, but let's in the interest of time, let's jump it a little quicker.
Okay. Our next one is Galileo Galilei. And this one's based off the astronomer Galileo. And what you're trying to do is you use your telescope here as action selection. So, and it has 2 rows, and the top row is permanent actions, and the other ones are modular actions that they move, they shift. So every time you use an action, it goes back down to the bottom and comes back up. So you can't use it again until you're using other actions and you move the telescope. And what you're trying to do is you're collecting sets of cards based off either you're observing the planets or constellations, and that's how much depends on. That will give you bonuses depending on. Planets are harder to observe than constellations. Constellations are cheaper and easier to observe, but multiple people can view that constellation. But as soon as you view the planet, you take that card into your hand, and that'll give you more cards to build off of resources and stuff. But you're on the lookout of the Inquisition. You don't want to pull them in and them trying to investigate you and that you're doing heresy on there. And the more you get, the worse off it is for you. But as long as you kind of talk to them and move them off and move them all the way to the right side of the board where they are at the bottom here, these are where the Inquisitors go, that they'll score you positive points. But your opponent can see you doing that and end the game quicker. When the deck runs out, the game ends. So they can start observing those planets and constellations and pulling those cards from the deck and make the game end quicker and cost you a lot of points, which is a bad thing. But it's the theme is great for me because when I was young, I wanted to be an astronomer. And so I was very interested in all that stuff. And so you play as all the different astronomers in history, mainly back in the century of Galileo. I don't think there's any like newer ones like Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody like that. It's the old ones from the, I guess, 1500s. I forget when they were. So you're using the telescope to do your actions. It's very neat mechanism of moving your telescope up and pulling what actions you're playing. And you can play one from the top and one from the bottom of the action. And then you're doing set collections and trying to avoid the Spanish Inquisition. So it's Galileo Galilei.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is another, I think, is it Capstone? I think
This is
a capstone game.
That's a capstone game.
So it's another really good, heavy, it's a medium weight capstone game. And if you like that theme,
medium for capstone, yeah.
And the type of the theme, and I mean the theme looks like it really shines in this game, and
looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really nice.
It looks like an incredible game. I wish I'd played it already. I haven't. But when you were talking about how the telescope works, and then you take the tile and move it to the bottom, and everything else slides up. that made me think, okay, that's kind of like Arc Nova, right? Where you use a card and then it moves all the way to the bottom. Which is also a
Right.
capstone game. I wonder if they took a page out of their own book there.
I mean, if you're seeing this, like the bottom two has the X, that means you can't go there. Even though the telescope in this picture is pointing there, you have to start here, and you can either move 1 to 3 spaces. And once you hit the top, you go back down to the third space. But the
Okay.
bottom tiles, they're upgradable too. They have something on the back, so you can do an action where you upgrade one of those tiles, and it makes it better. It gives you more resources and other things like that. And
So those two bottom ones being X's, that makes it like a cooldown almost.
right, yeah, right. You're not going to be able to use those until you use one of the top ones, and then that shifts those up.
Oh,
That the very top one is a permanent one, so that's why it's brown up there.
okay.
Where the modular one. So once you get there, the next turn, if you go to that one, your next turn will go back down. But you can, if you're the one next to the last one, you can jump down to the next, because it's 1 to 3, so it more or less goes around back down to the one at the not the very bottom, but that third one.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I want to
your
play this. I want to play
and
this.
Yeah.
your astronomers have their own powers, so it's unique powers to each astronomer.
All right, let's move on to the next one though, because we are at an hour and 40 minutes
Really?
roughly. Yeah, time flies when you're
Yeah.
having fun talking about games.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right, so the next game I have here is a dice game called Pina Colada Dice. I guess Pina Colada Dice.
They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. It's a very simple game. If you are a fan of games like Roll For It, kind of reminds me of that. You're going to build a grid of 4x4 cards, and these cards have scoring mechanisms, like maybe you need 2 2s or 3 3s or whatever, or a value of, 25 plus or whatever the case is. On your turn, you're going to take the 5 dice, you're going to roll them Yahtzee style. You're going to choose one of these cards to claim, and you're going to put one of your Pina Colada Meeple tokens on one of the available spaces on these cards, which will give you victory points.
Okay.
And there's apparently, I think you have to get 20 points to win. If you play like this variant, there's ways to lose points as well. Cause like if you can't place anything, then you can choose like this risk reward, roll 1 die to get something good or bad. Some of them are negative points, but either way, the other rule to the game is instead of getting 20 points to win, if you claim 4 cards in a row, even diagonal, you also immediately win the game.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So if, you might be doing poorly, but people aren't watching out what you're doing and you come in for the win, getting 4 in a row. So looks pretty fun. That's Pina Colada Dice by Yellow, out of all people, coming back apparently.
Interesting. And such a simple thing. Like it looks like a real easy play. Yeah.
Yeah.
George,
how many more do you have on your list real quick?
I'm on my number 3 right now.
Can you burn through 2 of those real quick and then do your third one or your?
I can absolutely burn through. I can burn through one of them for sure.
Well, yeah, quickly do a few of them or do 2 of them real quick, and then we'll finish off with our last one each.
All right. Well, here we go. So my number 3 is one that I'm excited to talk about because I have this game and I've been playing it, and it's called Core of Discovery. Core of Discovery is a game where you are, first of all, it's by Off the Page Games, and they do IPs of graphic novels. This one is Manifest Destiny graphic novel, where Lewis and Clark go off and they encounter monsters on their mission isn't really to make it across the US, it's to eliminate monsters on their way. So you play the game with a board that has a bunch of icons on it on a map that you slide in, and then they're all covered with all of these pieces, sort of like, what is that game on the computer where Minesweeper? It's like Minesweeper.
Okay.
Right. So then you uncover one spot on your turn, and that's where your expedition has gone to next. And as you go, you are going to be running out of water. You're going to be collecting things that are resources that you find. And there are going to be all kinds of trials and challenges that you have to overcome with time limits so that you have to collect certain things. And the crux to the game is that each of the different scenarios has various deduction rules. Sticks are going to be found next to water always, right? There's going to be one vine in every column that has a mountain, et cetera, et cetera. And so you have to use deduction to figure out, okay, we should go here because that's what this has to be, and at the same time fight off these monsters and everything. There's so much to it. There's so much incredible replayability in this game. And the process is fun. The process of talking with people and saying, okay, should we do this? Should we do that? As a deduction exercise is really fun, turns out.
Yeah. I saw this one and I thought pretty cool, but it's co-op, so I probably won't play it unless like you brought it over or something, but I'm interested.
Yeah, no, I'll bring it because I've played it a couple times now, and it's been down to the wire each time, and it's actually been an incredible game. I really, really like it. And then
James, you got 2 left?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Do your 2, and then James will do his 2, and then we should have 1 apiece.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Perfect.
my second one, I can go so fast because, again, there's no information.
Fair enough.
Why don't people bother? I don't know. For whatever reason, my screen has changed. Not even is there no information. My computer is not even giving me the information that I had. Okay, now I've got it back up. It is going to be my number 2, just because I don't know enough about it right now, but I know it's going to be my number 2 because it's River Market, which is by Kids Table Board Games, and it's the 3rd game in the trilogy of the Creature Comforts line, and I love those 2 games. I've talked about them already in the last podcast. This is the next one, and in this one, you're going to be moving around the River Market, activating buildings that you visit, and hiring helpful new employees. That's all we know.
Fair enough.
But it'll be brilliant.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I love it. Animal morphic people. James, what's yours?
Okay. My second one is the Pillars of Heracles. It looks very similar. What got me excited about it looks very similar to Mosaic or Cyclades.
Oh.
It looks like an area moving, and you use a rondelle to build and settle. It says here ascend. I don't know what that means. And recruit your warriors out there. And the map looks a lot like it's the map of Mediterranean, but it reminds me a lot of the Mosaic map. I don't know if you've ever played those games, Mosaic or Cyclades.
I've played Cyclades. The new edition is also coming out at Origins. Fantastic.
Yes, and it gives me those vibes. As it's got Roman soldiers or Greek soldiers. I don't know which of these are. And that's actually what drew me to it. It's just the look of it, the vibe of it, of being, because Cyclades and Mosaic are pretty high ranking games for me.
Okay.
I really enjoy them. So that's, if it's anything like that, and I like rondelles. So
yep.
Anything like that is going to catch my attention. And that's Pillars of Heracles.
Yeah, I'm with you on the rondelles.
Yeah, I had this one on my list. Let James talk about it, but it looks pretty interesting. I like the rondelle to do the actions, and it does have that one of my favorite mechanisms, whereas you play a card, do what it says, and then you keep playing cards, and eventually you have to take a rest action, quote unquote, to take your cards back. So
Concordia.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, before we do our last one, I don't know if this is your most anticipated one or whatever it is for me, but if you want to very quickly go over honorable mentions, I don't have any, but let's start with you, George.
All right. I have 2 and I'll do them quickly. So I will share my screen if you can let me do it. Well, I don't have to, actually. I won't share my screen for this one because there's nothing to see. It's called Red Letter, Yellow Letter, and this is an honorable mention because, once again, there's no information whatsoever except the description in Board Game Geek, which I'm just going to read to you very quickly. Red letter, yellow letter. Red letter, yellow letter. Red letter, yellow letter. It's a party game of saying words with letters in them, and saying those words when they fit a category and when they have the right letters in them. And that's basically it. Oh, and all of these things are on cards. Okay, now that's pretty much it. that's that's honorable mention for just having the chutzpah to make that your description. That's incredible to me, but maybe we'll find out more about it at some point. But to just have the gall or the just the guts to do that, I think it's hilarious. Good for them. And then my real honorable mention is because it's an expansion. And this one is Tailor Master New Challenge 4 Plus expansion. And this is a game where you are going to be trying to create certain patterns on clothes because you're a master tailor. And the way that you do that is you have a piece of cloth that has all these colors and patterns on it. And then you're going to have a cutout in the shape of a shirt or pants that you're going to be moving across the top of this and try to match the card that has these particular patterns on them. So you slide it around and turn it in different ways until it exactly matches that card. And that's the game Master Tailor, and it's a 2-player game. Now they're expanding it to be 4 players. And the reason this catches my eye and makes my list is because I'm going to have this for use in my classroom, and I'm going to have people describing what the clothes have to look like while the other person is trying to slide around and find it. I think that's going to be hilarious and fun. So that's Master Tailor, 4-player expansion.
All right, James, what's your real quick honorable mention?
Honorable mentions are food for thought. The wife and I are always trying to eat right and failing many times. But this is a game about you're trying to eat right, eat healthy, trying to improve your diet, and you're using a board where you're doing like seafood, sugars, and nuts and water. That's pretty much all I know about it, using cards to be able to do this. And that's what piqued my interest, is that it's like a game about eating right, but it didn't really interest me enough to make my list. That's why it's an honorable mention, but I will probably give it a look as I pass by. And also another one, the expansion for In the Footsteps of Darwin, it's coming out, and it's a Hachette game. So I assume it's not on that list, but I am going to look for it if it's there, because in my house that the Footsteps of Darwin is a really good, fun game. We enjoy that, where you get the grid of tiles and you're moving the ship around to draft the tiles and to score points based on what you draft.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. The food for thought was my number 11. Yeah, it looks like a good, thoughtful Euro with what is it? Deck building and worker placement kind of.
Yes, that's
all
what
kinds of stuff going on. It looks really good, actually, and it's designed by a dietitian, so they. Yeah, you can actually learn something. Yeah.
Well, we're going to move on to our number ones. Mine's going to be really quick because I watched a video of it and it was really awesome. There's lots of content, but the game page does not have anything really that I see. Oh, nope. Okay. Well, Board Game Geek was just not showing me the images on the main screen. My number one game, the one I'm actually looking forward to, surprisingly, after I looked through all these games, is Sand Art. It is a roll and write game. It looks really unique. Just for sake of time, I'm not going to explain it super well, but you have this little hand token that you're going to put on one of these action cards. And on your turn, you have to move the hand token. You can move as far as you want in the direction of your thumb. And then once you stop, you have to flip your hand token over. And then the next turn, you have to move it the other way as far as you want to do a different card.
Oh, that's interesting.
And all these cards are doing is giving you the ability to mark off different colors on your sand art bottles, like you're collecting blue sand or red sand, yellow sand, etc. You can do color changes to make green and all that stuff.
Oh, but you're coloring in your bottle too.
But there's a pour action where you're actually marking off the sand that you've collected to pour it into your bottle. And the way that the grid is done on your sand art or sand bottle is really cool, because it makes it look like you can pile it up in the middle or wave it out to the side.
Oh man, that's cool.
And then there's lastly, and then I'll move on, there's patterns that you can make, like this rain and rainbow. And like you have to, if you make that exact color pattern show up somewhere in your sand bottle, you get points and stuff. And there's some more to it, but man, it's a super, super unique roll and write game.
I don't go for roll and writes. I'm gonna get this one.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I didn't know about it. I didn't see this one. This looks really,
Dude, it
really
looks
good.
so good.
Yeah.
It's more of like it's just a writing game, I guess. I don't know.
It's
It's
not
no
a roll,
longer
right?
it's no
Yeah.
longer a roll and write genre. It's just a writing game genre because you're
Yeah.
selecting action by moving an action marker back and forth. So, but that's
But
sand art.
with the colors and everything, this is what a roll and write ought to be. Like
Yeah.
this is good.
Because
Good
this is
choice.
this what's really cool about this is you've got components. Some of the roll and writes don't need to be roll and writes.
No.
I can't imagine you being able to do this game. Could it work? Sure, you'd have 1,000 of these little cardboard pieces to be able to fill in your sand bottle, but this one deserves to be a roll and write, but at the same time, it has enough components to where you can't just print off a piece of paper and use some dice. So super, super
Yeah,
cool.
no, this one has a purpose. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
All right, what's your number one, George?
Oh, me.
Quick,
So,
quickly.
yep. My number one is one that is a surprise to me that I'm this interested, but it's called How to Save a World. And I didn't know about this game prior to reading about it for Origins, but this is a game where you have a comet that is heading toward the planet. And let's face it, the planet is Earth. They say it's something else, but come on. And you have these tracks that you're going to be activating. You're going to be giving strength to, and one of them is a laser to shoot the comet out of the sky. So that might be the way that the planet gets saved. And the next one is a shield system that diverts the comet away from the planet at the last minute. That might be the way the planet is saved. And if neither of those work, the last track is how many animals that you have taken from the planet to a nearby habitable moon to keep the species alive. And so you can win the game by being the highest on whatever track ends up saving the planet, which is a cool thing because it's a competitive game now, but you're still all trying to save the planet, which is really interesting. And the way that you do it is by playing cards, deck building, and worker placement at the same time. So it's one of these games that has quite a lot going on. Some of the cards, I really like the art. I really like what's happening. And I think that theme of saving the planet from this impending disaster is really going to carry the game and make this shine for me.
Yeah, it looks super cool. I like that comment.
Yeah.
All right, James, what you got?
My most anticipated is
I'm sorry,
Galactic
James.
Cruise. What?
Super quick. I'm so sorry. I should have
That's
mentioned
okay.
How to Save a World is Burnt Island games.
Ah,
Yeah.
my most anticipated one is Galactic Cruise. I'm big on Lacerda games, and this one has that same vibe. It's almost so close to Lacerda, he might have to sue them for copyright. I mean, it's got every fiddly thing you can imagine. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build these galactic ship cruise lines for people to go. So you're trying to entice. I'm going to pull up the Kickstarter. It explains a little better. But you get blueprints, and then you put them in shuttles, and you interact with the markets and resources to build your ship, your components of your ship. And then you're trying to attract people to get on that ship to cruise, and then you launch the shuttle, then you launch the ship, and you're going on the journey. And so you're getting a goal. You're accomplishing goals, as it says here, and you're trying to become the next CEO of this company is the theme.
Yeah.
But try to do the best. But so, I mean, it is pretty much a knockoff of the Lacerda games. No, but I mean, which appeals to me greatly. So I will definitely want to check this out. I saw it on Kickstarter. It's like, I want to try it first before I even play it or buy it. So, which is rare for me. And so I'm definitely looking forward to this because I want to try it out and see if it's something I'll play in the future. Because I mean, a lot of Lacerda games I love. On Mars.
I still want to play the Weather Machine.
The Weather Machine's good. This is similar to that in the look and the feel. Yep. So that's
this is heavy. This is heavy. Yes. This is not a game for me. And yet, I can tell you. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. According to BGA or BGG, it's a little less than Building Chicago. So
Oh,
Nice.
really? Oh, my goodness.
3.88.
Well, this isn't my style of game, I wouldn't think, but the game store that I've been going to has a heavy game night for one of the days that I go, and there's groups of people playing this game and loving it. These are heavy gamers. They love this game, and they have the deluxe components that they've bought with it, and they're gorgeous. This game is gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah, looks super
And
cool.
it's definitely something I'm going to look into because it's right up my alley. The more fiddly and the more rules you have to keep reading over and over again, that's the game I like.
Yeah, get the money. Get the metal money with it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I think that wraps up our list. So tons of games. It's like 30 games to look forward to at Origins, and yeah, we'll report back after we get some of these, especially with James going. We'll see if I'm able to make it, but I'm sure we'll get some of these games. Some of them have already came out right before Origins anyway, so we will have them. We'll talk about them, but we're gonna wrap up.
It's gonna be a good summer.
It is. Anyway, we want to thank you for tuning into episode 147 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on May 23rd, 2025. Send questions and comments at MeepleCore or to MeepleCore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on your favorite social media platforms. Check out the video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore. And until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.